What's up, everybody?
Eric, what has it been like kind of preparing with the Lynx for, in the playoffs? Are you guys still kind of dividing up tasks and everyone's getting their own scouts, or what's kind of the responsibilities of you now that you're in the playoffs?
Yeah, assistants still have their teams who are, their scouts, but I would say it's more of an all hands on deck situation maybe than it would be in the regular season. When you're going to play a team potentially 5 times in this round, that you're definitely going deeper on stuff. You're trying to look for any little edge you can get. The regular season, you obviously want to have the best game plan you can, but sometimes you want to see something, or hey, if we try this, how does it go? Probably a little less experimentation going on now. It's more you gotta go with what you think is your best stuff.
Cheryl mentioned at halftime in Game 1 that there was a pretty collaborative discussion about how to stop kind of she calls it
tush push.
the tush push of the WNBA.
Uh-huh.
What was that discussion like? It sounded like Courtney was pretty involved.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty open floor. Courtney was, the one guarding the screener, so her voice was definitely heard. We have the video there. A lot of that stuff there's how you're doing it from a tactical standpoint, and then there's the effort and the intensity with which you're doing it. And I thought, both things improved in the second half. That was the biggest difference.
I was curious, did the coaching staff, have conversations with Masha ahead of this series that she might be seeing more minutes with Dejanay, unfortunately out for the rest of the season, or was that something that kind of came about during this specific, what you guys saw from the first half of Game 1 and adjusting?
Yeah, I would say there's the Dejanay piece, and then each matchup is just different.
Yeah.
It's different personnel we're playing against. Her length can really help.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, I think you don't necessarily sit down with the player and talk about, hey, here's how your minutes might be. But when you're going through stuff and practice and shoot around, hopefully the player can get a sense of the spots they might be in.
Going back to that collaborative discussion at halftime, Cheryl was talking about how this group can kind of solve their own problems, very emotionally mature. Where does this group stack up against others you've been around in terms of that specific ability?
I mean, the only comparison I have is our team in 2019 in Washington, which, similar to this group, it was a couple-year journey to get to a point like that. Just mature people who can take their own egos out of it and solve the problems in front of them.
What do you think works so well with Courtney and Cheryl specifically in that relationship, and why they get the best out of each other?
They can both give it and they can both take it. Yeah, they have a bond and they know it's out of love. So when they're giving it in the moment, you got a lot of depth behind it. Yeah.
What's kind of impressed you about being around Courtney as much as you were this season? Because I feel like she kind of has an outside perception and then a inside the Lynx organization media perception.
Yeah, I think it probably, even from the outside, you could notice it a couple years ago that you're in Chicago. And then when we, for years in Washington, we practiced with these guys preseason, and they came to our place last year, and it was my first time seeing Courtney with them, and you could tell, the first 5 minutes, like, we were doing some possessions in the half court, and she was just in command, telling people where to be, in sync with Fee really quickly. And so I think just right place, right time. Everybody goes through their journey of, maturity, probably the right age, and wants to win, wants to be coached, and she's as honest as they come. She tells you exactly what she's thinking. You can be direct with her, and I think that's just, really, really lucky to have a point guard like that who you just, it's easy to get on the same page with.
Do you think it coincided with her shift from kind of more of an off-ball guard to point guard, that maybe the personality shifted with maybe more of the responsibilities?
I don't know. I don't know if I can go that deep into it. I don't know. I think I'll just say maybe it was the right time of her career to make that switch in terms of position. I think trying to do that with her out of college, as it would be for most players, it's hard to find point guards in our league, and so asking a 22, 23-year-old who hasn't done it to suddenly do it, that's a lot on their plate. By the time she made the change, she knew the league, she'd been on a couple teams, played for good coaches, probably makes it easier.
It is kind of impressive, though, that she has been able to do it so quickly. 2.5 years, and she's one of the best point guards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's been I think she's, developed as a passer for sure. And, just once you have kind of understanding of how you're going to get played, what coverages are, what teams are trying to do, if you're smart enough, you can figure it out. She can score, she can pass. Just put her at the top of the offense. Yeah.